Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cricket Lads, where we try bringing fans to discuss this unbelievable game of cricket. So, as you all know, not a sort of start which the Team India wanted or the fans have dreamt of before the match. So, first of all, we have fans joining from across the globe. So, we'll discuss what went wrong in the game, and we'll divide in different aspects of batting, bowling, field selections, or even team selections and the most debatable uh, decision you can call the captaincy as well. So first of all, I'll go to Deep. Deep, what went wrong in the game? Was it India's batting, India's bowling? Uh, what do you reckon?
So I'll start with the toss. So I think toss didn't go in India's favor. That was the first thing that went wrong. And after that, when Virat Kohli said that he has not included Kuldeep Yadav in the team, that was the second decision that went wrong even before the game started. So after that there were a lot of things that went wrong, but even before the game started, these were the two main things that I believe that if these two could have gone in India's favor, then the result would have been something different. But if we talk about batting, then India's batting, especially the openers Rohit Sharma and Ajinkya Rahane, they both let India down. They both didn't perform in both the innings. And then when we talk about bowling, then apart from R Ashwin, I couldn't find anyone else who was looking so lethal that he will trouble the English batsman and he will take wickets. Umrah was performing well in some spells, but he was not looking lethal at all. He was looking very tired. Ishant was also coming after a long break, so he was not also looking good, in great touch. And the other two spinners, they didn't complement Ashwin, so that was another thing that let India down. And the most important thing is catches win you matches, and India dropped so many catches, so the on-field performance was very poor. And you can't uh, uh, and especially the no balls.
Right.
So that is one aspect that we need to discuss, that why India bowled so many no balls, so many extra deliveries. So did they lose their concentration, the bowlers as well as the fielders? So I think there are too many factors that we need to discuss.
Right. So many factors we have to talk upon. So I'll go to Jaydeep. Jaydeep, do you think is it the aftermath of Australia's monumental win for the players coming from such a big win, and then you're playing England in your home conditions? Did they think that England won't be able to give a sort of a counter which they gave? So was it the aftermath of Australia's win that let them down?
Yeah, certainly. I do agree with your point that it's something overconfidence. Some sort of overconfidence has been shown by the Indian players so far in this test. Indian team has been showing overconfidence since years. We have seen after 2013 in the T20 World Cup. India won all the matches, and they thought they might be able to defeat Sri Lanka easily in the finals. And due to that overconfidence, they lost the finals. Again, in 2015, they lost World Cup due to overconfidence. In 2017, they thought that we were able to defeat Pakistan in group stage, so we might able to easily defeat Pakistan again in finals. They've lost again 2016. Windies they have lost, and in 2019 taking New Zealand for granted, and they have lost again. So over the years I've seen that Indian cricket always does things which are clumsy, sloppy, and overconfidence always lets the team down. And I have seen over the years India always does performs well in every tournament, and in every game they perform well. But when the feeling of the sense of overconfidence comes into the side, uh, they goes down. I don't know why. What happens with management? Why don't senior players conveys the other players of the team that we should not take any team for granted? This thing is just worst.
Right, right. Actually, those points were mentioned by Virat as well in the post match, that the intent was down, the players were not up to their mark, and also he mentioned something which which you also told now, that the team was not at their peak in terms of energy. Whether you talk about taking some easy catches, if you look at Rohit Sharma's catch, that is not at all justified. As a fielding coach, he will not go to Rohit Sharma and say, I'll start giving you sitters. So that's something also very unusual from the Indian team, who has set the standards of the fielding at very high level. So coming to you, Dinesh, we saw Rishabh Pant also from the backside, continuously talking that ladko chalo yaar chhodna nahi hai na, all those slangs in Hindi, that boys, come on, we have to do it, we can do it. So what is happening with the Indian team? Have they taken England too much of that England won't be able to counter their spin? And also, do you reckon on the team selections? Because many people said that Kuldeep Yadav deserved the place, and if you think yes, he deserved, in whose place do you think he could have played?
Well, to answer your second question, let me answer your second question first. Kuldeep Yadav should have been there just because of the fact that he has got a number of varieties up in his sleeve. He should have been playing in the place of Shabaz Nadeem for sure. Because not just because Shabaz Nadeem went for runs, even if you had asked me even before the match started, I would have certainly reckoned with my idea of having Kuldeep Yadav in the playing 11. And the reason why I say this, even Kuldeep Yadav is a left-handed bowler as well. So the biggest difference between Shabaz Nadeem and Kuldeep Yadav is the kind of variety that Kuldeep Yadav has in comparison with Shabaz Nadeem. So he should have been there in the playing 11 instead of Shabaz Nadeem. And Shabaz Nadeem has actually shown why he should have been not in playing 11 in the bowling performance that he showed in the last match. I mean, in this match. Answering to your first question, the biggest reason which I feel is the complacency of the Indian team. They have actually won the Australian series in the Australian soil, coming to India, coming back to India with such a big fame is actually, it's a double-ended sword. If you take it for confidence, it just aids you with confidence. If you take it as a pride, it actually puts you down. So, and also the biggest reason is there is a switch of captaincy. There you had seen India B team almost captained by Ajinkya Rahane and actually won by India. The Border Gavaskar Trophy has been won by India. And this, all of a sudden you're back to your home crowd, home team, home soil. And that sort of complacency, I think, that has actually gone into the minds of Indians, I feel. So, and also the fact that they have thought English side to be like the likes of Bangladesh or West Indies team that comes for a Sachin's last test, or an Afghanistan team. They just took England for granted. But whereas England had actually shown a strong message that they are thoroughly deserving for the final match test championship at their home, that is at Lord's. So I think India took it for granted. India really took England for granted, and they were far too much complacent, and they were not learning from the lessons. As Deep told, the first defeat was a loss of toss. But that we had seen that happening in Australian soil as well. Ajinkya Rahane had actually lost a couple of toss, but they had actually come up so well. They had made Australians all out in a quick span of time, within a day or 1.5 days. So that didn't happen. So Virat Kohli readily accepted the loss of toss as the loss of the match. He just allowed English batsmen to play till 2.5 days, and that's the first defeat. So complacency and the switch of captaincy are the two important reasons that I feel has costed the match for India.
Right, right, right. And also, since you mentioned about England, having said that, we cannot take this victory away from England. We are talking about India not being able to play it, but England have played superbly, and with their captain leading from the front, and the way he has, countered this spin, not even once, when we were seeing him play, not even once he looked in, he looked in utter dispute. He was playing so well, and also those sweep shots. Even Ashwin told in the in third day or fourth day, I think, that he was we were planning to get him out through LBW, but he was so good in that shot. So Deep, coming back to you, uh, Do you think had this match, India would have tied this match with 8 wickets lost? Just assume that. So did England, chose a conservative approach on fourth day by not declaring, or they were mentally playing with Indian batsmen or Indian players that we are keeping you in the field for we have kept you in the field for 3 days and now we are going to keep you for another day. Is that a mental defeat also?
Right. So for me, Joe Root as captain was very confident what his team was doing. So once Butler got out, we thought that they will declare, but no. So every bowler was padded up. So Joe Root had a clear plan that we will give India 100 overs and we will take India's victory out of the equation. So on the last day, there will be only two possible outcomes: either it will be a draw or we will win. And if you talk, and any expert will say that the percentage would be around 60% England will win and 40% draw, right? So it was always in England's favor. And what Joe Root did was he made sure that in those 10 overs, in 10 overs on fourth day, their bowlers will get at least 1 wicket of the opener, so that the either a tail ender will come or Pujara will come, right? And Jake Leach did absolutely brilliant job. Nobody thought that Jake Leach, who went for around 8 runs per over in the first innings, will bowl so brilliantly, right? So I think their spinners did a brilliant job in the second innings, and that's where India lost the match.
Yes.
Both Bess and Jake Leach complemented each other very well.
Yeah, since you mentioned about the openers being out, in 10 overs of the second innings with Rohit Sharma going back, I'll come to you, Jaideep. Uh, Ajinkya Rahane. Okay, we'll talk about Ajinkya Rahane a bit later. Let's talk about Rohit Sharma because Rohit Sharma, played well in Australia as well. In 3 innings, I remember. One innings he got out, but here also there were two failures. And what I can, inspect from those two failures were he was a bit off-minded because if you look at the sort of dismissal, this is just unlike Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma is someone who will give his wicket trying to attack, but he is never ever defensive at all. So, what do you think? Is it going to be a match in second test match? Is it going to be something that Rohit Sharma will be eyeing to score because he has a staggering average of 88, which is second best after Don Bradman?
Yeah, I would say that the first thing is that cricket returned in Indian soil almost after 1 or 1.5 year. So that means Indian players have not been in touch with subcontinental soil for almost 1.5 year. Yeah, they were playing in Australian soil and they ended up having a superb victory. But Australian pitches, Australian tracks have been bouncy and supports pace well. Indian team adopted the conditions well in Australia and ended up having a great victory there. But Australian soil does not support spin well. So if a spinner like Nathan Land bowling against Indians, then the ball will usually turns a bit and not much bounce there. So the batsmen have, I think, adopted those kind of conditions. And when you are returning to India and playing cricket after a so long time, then usually it happens that ball turning, going around, and bouncy ball with turn bounce as well, and rough playing an important role here in subcontinent. So there was a lot to learn before this test, and only 20 days were there in between those two series. And Sri Lanka, and we know England were there in Sri Lanka for almost a month. They played two tests there. So they've adapted those conditions and those situations, and they've been in touch with those situations. So I feel like Rohit Sharma was casual. That's a thing which cannot be, which I think has happened actually. But there was a lot was on that Indian team hasn't played on home soil for a long time. And I think Rohit Sharma in the second test will look for scoring runs. Yes, as you mentioned, he has an average of 88, which is the second highest after Don Bradman. So Rohit Sharma will for sure go for scoring runs, because as you know, life is a race, and if you don't perform, your position will be gifted to someone else, because Mayank Agarwal has also got a superb average in domestic, and in domestic or on home soil. So I personally feel like Rohit Sharma would uh, play well in next test, and might have 100 or 150. It would be great for team and great for himself as well.
Yeah, let's hope Rohit scores in the next match. Coming to you, Dinesh, Ajinkya Rahane has been off colors, as you mentioned in the group as well. He has not scored a century after Melbourne, but these things happen with Ajinkya. We have seen over a period of time that he scores so well. He has an average of 50 plus in overseas conditions, but unlike most people, he has a low average as compared to overseas at home conditions. So what do you think, Ajinkya Rahane, what's going on, and how crucial it will be for Ajinkya Rahane to score runs?
Ajinkya Rahane is a very crucial part of Indian playing 11 actually. So you cannot ignore him. He's just like Cheteshwar Pujara. But the reason he's been up and down is that he's not so clear with what the team expects of him. That's what I would say. Because right after Virat Kohli has left Australia after the first match, you got him promoted up the order, and the vision was clear. The expectation was clear from the management that Ajinkya Rahane has to fill the shoes of Virat Kohli, who has just left after the first match. So you're pretty clear with the intentions. And what did you see? You saw 100 from him. So even after that, he was actually spending quite some time in Australia, not as cheap as what he did today. He was actually going, even in the last match, he was just going for runs. He was just having the target in his mind where we won in the last match in Australia. So what I would say is he's not, in my opinion, I still feel that Ajinkya Rahane is not so clear what the team expects of him. I mean, in the likes of VVS Lakshman, if you see, VVS Lakshman is someone who actually holds the innings together. He's just a bridge between the lower order and the top order. So he was very clear with his mind that he is just going to stay for a longer time, spend some time with the lower order that comes after him. So he was pretty clear with his idea with what the team expects from him. But Ajinkya Rahane has been up and down, up and down. Whenever Virat Kohli is not there, he has to promote himself up, and when Virat Kohli comes again, you just shuffle him down the order. So I think he should feel a bit more confident than how he is actually, and not to be too much complacent. He just needs to back his strength. I mean, he's a skilled player actually, but you need to understand that he is so much inconsistent as well. So what I think is you just need to understand that you're a classy player. Just back your strengths. Need to have a word with someone like Rahul Dravid, because I mean, many players have actually told that Rahul Dravid has actually got a bigger impact in getting back to form. So a word or two from Rahul Dravid will actually bring back to the runs, I would feel. So what I think is Ajinkya Rahane should be clear on what team expects of him, and should actually be confident and determined that he's not going to lose his wickets early. I mean, he must put a price to his wicket, and I mean, spending some time in the crease, the runs will come easily to him. But unfortunately, he's not been doing that. So I'm optimistic about Ajinkya Rahane, but I'm disappointed as well on how things have gone so far.
Yeah, I think that one thing that you mentioned, that Rahul Dravid's advice, that's one thing which has been the glue to too many youngsters around, whether it is Shubman Gill or so many youngsters. So first of all, yes, it has been a disappointing result for us. But to take out some positives, Deep, do you think maybe Ravi Ashwin's six for, and Virat coming back to form, and also Rishabh Pant, Shubman Gill, all have showed a great content, and also Chiteshwar Pujara, for the first time I've seen him score with a strike rate of 15 both the innings, and he has showed so much intent. It was unlucky to get out in a fashion which he did in the first innings, but he looked real rock solid. So if according to you, what can be two positives, not two, and any positive which you feel?
from Indian perspective, the two positives are, so at least we got our second opener fixed. Gill is going to play for a longer period of time for India, whether it is in home soil or in overseas conditions. He is going to be there as a specialist opener. And if you ask me, right now he's the first choice opener, and then Rohit will come as second choice opener for me. So Shubman Gill is the first positive that I'll take from this series. And the second positive for me is uh, Ravichandran Ashwin's performance. So in the absence of Ravindra Jadeja, he took the charge and he bowled brilliantly. And in this, and especially with the bat also. So apart from Pujara, if there is anyone who can draw a test match, so that is Ravindra Jadeja. That is, sorry, R. Ashwin. So the kind of intent he showed on the crease when he was playing with Virat Kohli, so that's absolutely amazing to see. So I think R. Ashwin's batting and Shubman Gill. So these two are two positives for me.
Right, right. Coming to you, Jadeep, since Deep talked about Ravindra Jadeja, he's someone who everyone is now talking about. Before the series, we told that it's okay if we do not have Ravindra Jadeja. We have someone like Akshar Patel, or so many names coming in. But now Akshar Patel has also been ruled out for first two test, I guess. So now going into the next test, who do you see coming back in place of Shabazz or anyone else, if you think?
Yeah, I think 11 that played in this match is not that bad, because I think one and only one or two replacement might work for India. Maybe, in my opinion, only one. Bringing Kuldeep Yadav back in place of Shahbaz Nadeem. See, as I told yesterday to you as well, that India doesn't play many tests where you require three spinners in the team. And when Jadeja and Ashwin are there, when two spinners are required and Jadeja and Ashwin are there, there's no option left for anyone to come into the team. And when Jadeja is absent and three spinners are required to be played, Kuldeep Yadav should be given a chance. I know there has been a trend that left arm off spinner usually troubles the English batsmen, but I feel like the quality and the skill level Kuldeep Yadav has got, he should deserve a place in the 11, at least till we have not got the likes of Ravindra Jadeja. And for Ravindra Jadeja, I think the batting required in the team when Ravindra Jadeja is not present in the team, Washington Sundar did very well. I was not expecting from him to score such big runs. 85 were, I think, second highest in the team in Indian innings. So that was just great. Washington Sundar showed how Indian batsmen can go ahead when the pitch was not playing well. Pitch was favoring spinners well, and having turn bounce, spinners were bowling on the rough, and you have got good fast bowlers of James Anderson, Jofra Archer. We have saw today as well. The reverse swing was great by them. So I personally feel like Washington Sundar has played very well, and he deserves a spot in the team till Jadeja is not available. And for the spin role that Ravindra Jadeja, that the team is missing in absence of Ravindra Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav should be back to the team, and Shahbaz Nadeem should be dropped.
Yeah, since Jadeep, you mentioned about getting Kuldeep Yadav back. I'll come to you, Dinesh. Do you think Jasprit Bumrah needs some sort of rest, because he looked totally off colors? And one thing which I mentioned very much unlike of Jasprit Bumrah is bowling no balls. Last time I remember he bowled a no ball was Champions Trophy, which became so much famous. But now he has bowled no balls, and which is very unlike Jasprit Bumrah. And also, do you think Indian team would bring someone like Rahul Chahar also, who is a leg spinner? Can he be included in the squad, if or not?
No, actually, at this point of time, I don't think Rahul Chahar would be needed this point of time, because you're just down after a defeat, and you're just trying to make a comeback. And Kuldeep Yadav, who has been there for a long time, who had been a part of a test squad even in Australia, even a net bowler like Natarajan had got a chance to be in playing 11, but Kuldeep Yadav didn't get it. So someone like Kuldeep Yadav has been craving for the chance, I would say, not even expecting a chance. He would be craving for his chance, actually. And also, we know the kind of varieties that he's actually having in his sleeve. So I think having Kuldeep Yadav in the next match would be ideal. I agree. Grooming talents like Chahar is actually important, but not at this juncture, because when you're looking forward for a Test Championship finals, and when you're experimenting things, I mean, especially when you're actually down with a defeat, I don't actually prefer. I don't really recommend that. But I still feel that Kuldeep Yadav is actually someone who deserves to be in playing 11. May not be in Australia, but I mean, this is actually a ground that actually suits him. Chennai Chepauk is actually going to support him. I mean, we had seen in the last match, and even in the next match to come in Chennai Chepauk, that is going to support him as well. Left arm Chanama is always a mystery. So I think Kuldeep Yadav ahead of anyone, I would say. So I seriously wish to see Kuldeep Yadav in the next match. So it's going to be Chennai Chepauk again. So hopefully India can turn tables at least in the next match.
Yeah, and about Jasprit Bumrah, do you think?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Jasprit Bumrah. I mean, the intent was so down for the entire team, I would say, because when you had seen Shabaz Nadeem bowling no balls, when you had seen Ashwin bowling no balls, so a fast bowler like Jasprit Bumrah having such errors of no balls, that doesn't wonder me at all. So what actually disappoints me is the kind of intent that India had shown as a bowling unit. So Jasprit Bumrah is actually someone who is actually street smart and very disciplined. But when your fellow bowlers are not actually disciplined enough, that actually spoils you mentally. So that's what we had seen actually today. I mean, in this particular match, we had seen Ashwin bowling no balls. How often have you seen Ashwin bowling no balls? So Shabaz Nadeem bowling no balls, and not one or two, consistently in both the innings he was bowling those no balls. So how often do you see spinners bowling those no balls? Spinners bowling no balls is actually a suicide, I would say. So when spinners were themselves not in control, I think it's a bit unfair to target only Jasprit Bumrah, because the morals of the team was actually so down. That's what I would say. And also, how many times have you seen Virat Kohli following up with the bowler after the extras being bowled? And how many times have you seen Joe Root following with the bowlers, English bowlers? So that's the biggest difference. Whenever things go out of reach, whenever a white ball is bowled, whenever a no ball has been bowled, a captain has to run up to the bowler and just clarify him what he actually goes out of range. So that's where we missed. The morals of the team was actually so down. So I don't think it's just a big deal to think about the no balls of Jasprit Bumrah, but it is a very big deal that as many as 52 extras have been considered by India in this particular match, out of which 45 have come in the first, and the 7 have come in the second, if I'm not wrong. So that is a area of concern, not in terms of Jasprit Bumrah, but the entire bowling unit. So that's my point on this.
Right. And since we have come to Virat Kohli's captaincy, there is one stat which often there's one quote which people say that stats are like bikini. You show some and you don't. So I have some stats for you. That is, Virat Kohli has lost 4 consecutive tests and has broken. He earlier had a record of most wins, which were 7 in a row. So now, Deep, what do you think? India has gone down to 4th position also in uh, World Test Championship. So how crucial is this series going to be for Virat Kohli's captaincy? And also, if Virat Kohli fails in this series, do you think Indian team or these selectors going for someone like Ajinkya Rahane? Because of Ajinkya Rahane has captained so well, but there's one factor which may go against him is his batting. So how do you see that?
For me, it's always the captain and coach combination, as I have always said. So the Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri combination is not that effective as Rahane and Ravi Shastri's combination. So if you want to change the captain, then I think you need to change Ravi Shastri also, because otherwise the Virat Kohli will also be in the team, Rahane will also be in the team, then Ravi Shastri will also be in the team. That triangle won't work. You need a proper captain and a proper coach to dominate the decisions. So for me, Virat Kohli will remain the captain, irrespective of the how irrespective of how this series goes. But maybe after this series or after the 2020 World Cup, I think if India doesn't perform well in the 2020 World Cup, then I think the team will look into the captaincy matters. Otherwise, Virat Kohli will lead in all the three formats.
Right. So since we have only 4 to 5 minutes left, I'll go to Jaideep. Jaideep, only I need to have your word on will India win this match, the coming match? Not about series. We'll only talk about match. So is India going to win this match, or is it going to be a draw, or England can win again?
For the second test.
Yeah. We are only focusing on
Uh,
this second test for now, because the people before this series went ahead to the world final world test championship challenge that we are going to play New Zealand, and it just went against us. So just one word, will India win or lose, or a draw?
Easy win for India, I think. Easy win.
And Dinesh, what do you reckon?
No, just the same as Jaydeep had told, because the first match was actually unfortunate. Players were not up to the mark. But I seriously hint, there is an instinct inside me that says that it's going to be a victory for sure for India in the next game. And Ashwin is going to bag you wickets in the next match. He is the homeboy actually. So that's the instinct that I have. So hopefully India wins, and I seriously want and I seriously expect India to win, and India would actually win the next match.
Right, as all the people here said that India is going to win it. So and as often people say that setbacks always bring strong comebacks, and this team has shown us in Australia after going down for 36. So let's hope that India regained 1-1 in the series, and we have a very strong. Yes, Deep.
So if even Australians will be praying that India should win the next match, right?
Yeah. So there are so many scenarios. Every team is having calculus people analyzing on the records how it's going to be. So let's hope it goes in our favor. Let the other people think of what they have to. So on that note, I'd like to thank each and everyone for giving their time. And guys, please subscribe to Cricket Lads so that we can bring same conversation with same light-hearted predictions and review meetings, as you can say. So till then, have a nice day.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.